Hey everybody, it's Inanna. I'm here talking to you. Today I'm going to talk about magic wand and history throughout mankind. I was just doing a little research on shamanism in the past, as I always do, and I was realizing one that shamans were around. They were around during the Gobekli Tepe season, and that was at least 15,000 years ago. And so, man has been at least using a wand during the ceremonies since then, since before religion. Man has been using a staff or a wand of some sort during his ceremonies. So that's where the origination of the wand started out. And they have found rods at Gobekli Tepe in one of the sites. There were several rods found there at the ceremonial vessels, and some rods are used for writing utensils as well. So they have the rods that are part of ceremonies, and then they have rods that are of manifestations, and then also writing utensils or drawing in the dirt, symbolic instruments. So wands. Turning on my prop. Um, Wands have been around quite a while. I have one myself. Um, what they are known to do is intensify the expression of the person wielding the wand. The wands can be decorative, and all of them are supposed to. Hold on 1 second here. Let me get my props together. Okay, so I was looking at the pictures and stuff of things that would be um, involved with a wand. And so I did a little list of the people. It would be, of course, shamans, medicine men, witch doctors, priests, prophets, wizards, sorcerers, and many others. Fairies, it can go into some of the other fairies and stuff. So these things, anybody that is performing a type of ceremony or a seance will have used wands. They were like, some of them were status symbols, and some of them were instruments of divination. And so the magic wand has been used in manifestation since time immemorial. Okay, using magic wands has been a broad practice for shamans since all shamans started. Um, Gobekli Tepe has some other temples in the area. It's in northern Iraq, and their temples actually had wands and rods in them too. So Gobekli was a part of a group of temples, and all of the temples in the area, some way or another, were pretty much into using some sort of rod or staff. Now, um, some wands that were found were really short. Some wands can be really long, and it doesn't matter of the material as long as it is special to the wielder of the wand. So if I wanted a special one, I might get one made out of crystal. If I wanted or if you wanted one, you might want one out of wood. It's not really the material; it is the person wielding the wand who will determine what the wand is made out of. And some wands be little, so small they inside your hand and you can't even see them. And some of them be sticks and long staffs and sketchers and stuff. And there, I have a list of pictures on how the wands look. But even in some of the churches and today in the government buildings in British Parliament, they use wands too. So it's a ceremonial object, and that's pretty much the base way to say it. A lot of ceremonies, if you have a ceremony, more than likely it's going to be somebody standing there with a staff or a wand. And for people who would like to make this all, remember when Moses struck the rock? He had a staff. Do you remember when he approached Pharaoh? He threw down his staff and it turned into a snake. Staffs and wands have been around since the beginning. So I'm just telling them that the reason why did they want these staffs in their life? What is good about a staff? Okay, so first of all, doesn't matter. Some of it doesn't matter what they're made of, but the concept of it is that it will somehow increase the power, the kinetic energy, the force of the person who is using it. They're feeling like, if I have this wand, it will conduct energy. So if you feel like your energy can be conducted through a crystal at the top of the wand, then it would be specific for you. So I can't say what would be a wand to a person. I can only say that most of them have a big ball at the top, and it doesn't matter the length. And the ball and the material of the staff is of the person's choice, whichever one they think. I myself would not want a wooden staff. I do not feel like any kind of power is going through the wood. So I couldn't even imagine what a wooden staff would do. I would like a crystal one though. At least I could send something through it. But a wooden one, I don't see how I could send energy through that. But everybody has their own preference on what they want. And the early pictures was a big old hippopotamus tusk, and they had took it and did some stuff to it and put some writings on it, which I'll get to that too. Staves it could be a plain old piece of wood or metal or stone or plastic, as long as the right symbols are on it and the right conductivity is performed. Like if you have the right marks on the staff, that's way more important than what the staff is made out of. And so this is according to the Journal of Ritualistic Studies. When I pulled up Gobekli Tepe, the full package on it, I did a really big printout, and this was in the files coming from the Journal of Ritualistic Studies. It was 2005. And they had found Gobekli Tepe and found rods and had just found the vessels. And the vessels were for shamanic uses. They had spiral circles on them and everything. And then they took them and they hid them. So, but I have that printout from old back in the day when I was in college that the Gobekli Temple had rods and it had ceremonial vessels they were using. They had beer. So, so what they're trying to hide is that shamans were here before Christianity or anything else, and that before that time we had a spirituality with the earth. And part of that spirituality with the earth was the use of a rod or a staff in order to induct energy from the earth. That's how I'm trying, but I'm going through and so who else speaks about wands? Well, Homer spoke about wands. Homer spoke about uh, Athens and Circe having wands during the Iliad. Some he spoke about people having wands. Um, So it's not a far-fetched thing for a person to have a wand or feel good about having a wand with them or a staff. A lot of older people don't know why they feel better with their walking stick, but it itself is a wand, a form of energy conduction and induction. They don't even understand why they dislike it, you know. So wands have been with man. They come. You can't justify a wand by saying, "Oh, it's not big enough." If it looks small or if it looks strange or whatever, you know, a wand is a wand. It's according to the person who wanted the wand. So now they even use wands during the Hermetic order. Yeah, they used a wand in the Book of Solomon. And like I said again, the British Parliament still used the wand. So the wand is a ceremonial object. There's nothing good or bad about it. It's a conduction of energy device. Or induction of energy device, and they can be mostly classified. You'll see them with a big ball on the top and a long or short staff at the bottom, and preferably some of them will have like a stone top or a gold top, or they'll be made out of have gold and then have a valuable gem in there, and they'll have some kind of sacred writings. And so they showed one wand that was like a little stump, but it was really short and tiny. Didn't seem like something that would be a wand, but it had symbolic markings on it where it was being used to induce a manifestation. So then that showed me an example of why a wand could shape like anything. So it doesn't have to have, it's sort of like we're going to compare a wand and a talisman, but right now I'm talking about wands. Um, Now, the magic in the wand is derived by the beliefs of the person wielding the wand. So, if a person is wielding a wand, talking about they don't believe, obviously the wand is not going to work. It has something to do with the outward flow of energy from the human body into the object to make the object work. The object ain't gonna just work laying there by itself. The human behind the wand has to be able to send forth the kinetic energy or the energy being realized into the wand. The wand can't do anything by itself. So it's really just an inanimate object with sacred carvings on it that a person uses while doing a manifestation, whether it's a ceremony, whether it's some office procedures, they still use the wand, even in British. So, I mean, British right now in Parliament, they still have a wand. And then I saw pictures of priests with wands in their hands. I don't know what you may call it, a scepter. But that's still a wand. It's still a wand. It's supposed to project energy into something. So it's still a wand. No, so you have that, and then you have people who may want to store energy in their wand. Um, as Solomon using a wand ought to be enough clarification that wand usage was a big deal at one time. And I don't know if it's something that a person may be looking into getting, but at least know, pick a wand that is personal to you. Don't say, I don't want this wand or that wand because it's not gold. It does not have to be gold. It has to do what the instrument is to you, if it's good for you. I mean, me, I know I would want crystal, but somebody else might have some sacred wood and they would want to make their wand out of that wood. You see, so it's all in the person who wants the wand. It's not in the actual material. It's not in what they bought. So, so I was saying that because we sell wands here at Eden's Own Boutique. If you go to my website at www.edenzone.net, you will see that we have a collection of wands, and each wand has a different pure quartz crystal setting. My wand has genuine quartz crystals embedded inside them, and they are just $24.99 on my website plus shipping. And we have the ones with the antlers, and we have the ones with the peacock felt feather, and they all have a planet with a double moon, which I guess that would be probably Venus. I don't know. Um, So we have them for sale here. So if you wanted to get a nice, cute wand, they're not very big. It's like this or so. They're not big wands. They're not big staffs or staves or anything. They're small that you could carry in your purse or your pocket if you feel like you need an energetic boost. I don't know. What do I use my wand for? If it would be okay, I'd use it for everything, but I'd be strange. So I don't really take it out my house. But what I do is I rub the crystal all over me, and it helps my energy. And then sometimes when I'm feeling like I have to release energy, I can hold my wand close to me and release my energy into the crystal that's on it. That's how I use my wand, just to store my personal energy. I've never needed to use it for anything because I haven't discovered anything I could use it for, but it does reflect my energy. When I pick up my wand, I've been holding on to the crystals so long until they reflect my inner energy. So that's the reason I have it. I hold on to it. Sometimes, if I'm getting a vision, especially. So it's important to me. So I don't play with it. I'm not here in front of YouTube playing with it. It's just important. It's like it can store some of my essence and some of my energy in it, and it's a personal object. It's not something you ever notice that they got their own personal thing, their own wine, their own staff. They don't want to share it. They don't want you touching it and all that. It's true because as you get as you get your energy flowing through the crystals, and then it's sort of like the stone recognize you. I don't know how to explain that to you, but if you're on a high vibration and you've already realized that you're just a big energy field trapped in a flesh body, once you get that glow to yourself, it's magnetized with that crystal. And then if you have a crystal around you, it will pick up on your energy flow. So each time when you pick it up, you will feel your energy being related with that object. That's the best way I can describe it. So I've had my wand now for about a year or two. I tried it just to see. I like it. It does like relax me. I don't know if it's like I don't know. You have to form your own opinion by getting your own and get one from Eden's Own Boutique. Be blessed by Inanna. Can't get no better than that. So I will be having them there up there online. You get to tell me what color stone you'd like, and I get to look and see if I got it. Okay, and if I have that, or I can just send you what I feel you need. Okay. Now we have the wands, and they are available here at Eden's Own Boutique. It's edenzone.net online. And we use PayPal for our transactions. That way, you know that it's legit. You get your money back if you don't get your product. I have to turn in a tracking number and all that. So we do use PayPal, so it will be a safe and secure transaction. Anybody, anybody that has any question they want to ask me, you can ask me your question, and I will tell you what I have. Okay. Yes, it is very, very true that the fire, the smoke was enhanced. Yes, it was enhanced to hide alien activity. No fire in all of time has ever reached down into New York like that. But if you can throw certain chemicals on it and make it bigger, and that's what they did because they had to disguise a takeoff. So yeah, that's what that was, a big disguise, yes. But I wasn't around when it was going down, and I wasn't here to talk about the political games that they play in the USA. That's not what I want to do. I want to talk about you opening your third eye, about you reaching out and reaching into your being and being able to leave this physical body and walk an astral plane on the mountains, on the beach, anywhere you want to. So that you will know that with that third eye, you are not stuck or trapped in any situation. You may be able to use your third eye and go and look out of a situation and see actions that you could take to avoid a situation. So be strong when you do realize that you can uh, leave this little shell and walk. And you realize that things change. So um, then you realize that things that people are saying is bad is things that could lead to knowledge. For example, there are a few energy principles I like to teach you. One is that a circle does not end. When you think the two lines meet, they are not meeting, they're actually going below or above the finishing of the first line. So when you draw a circle is always three-dimensional, because no matter how you draw a circle, no matter how you draw that circle, when the ends come together, that last part right there is where the circle will change planes. It will either be in a plane above where you started or below where you started. That's how a circle works. It works like that on paper. It works like that with an ink pen. It works like that in the wheel of life. And it works like that in space, especially in space. That is what I'm leading you to. What we call being told are orbits that are like closed circles. All of them are spirals. No matter how tightly close they're wound, they're all spirals. There are no flat circles, period. You can't even make a flat circle. That's why pi don't have an ending, because the loop will continue forever. So a limitation to your physics, all you science majors, a limitation to your physics will be that you're expecting pi to solve the physicality of it all. But the truth is, the circle never ends. What you think and what it may appear to your eyes is those two ends meeting. But immediately when they approach, one will be on the opposite plane of the other, and there at that drawing right there is a whole inner dimension. That's the best way I can bring it out. Okay, so now, why do you think pi never has an answer? 3.144444 forever. Because the circle never ends. What a circle does is go either going to loop above the start point or below the start point, but it's not a circle. A circle is not a circle. A circle is truly a spiral, all of them. So you see, not having that down pat will limit your engineering capabilities, because you want to put an infinite end on that 3.14. You want to desperately to make that circle close up, but the circle does not close up. The circle enters into another plane. And that right there is the problem with the mechanical engineering that you face. You limit yourself to pi. Yeah, pi is perfect. Pi is perfect. But what's the most important perfect thing about pi is as you play with that n number, that's the width of the loop. As you play with that 3.14, make it 3.17 or 3.12, now you're moving the spiral up and down. And you have to learn to manipulate that spiral if you're going to learn how to do a black hole. Yeah, you want to go in that spiral. You want to go in it correct. You're gonna need to play with pi, and you're gonna need to put different endings on the end of that loop of that circle. Stop trying to make a circle go into a complete infinite loop or loop because it doesn't. No matter what circle it is, it's on a plane and it's switching planes at all time. Each time it swing back around, and the plane is either moving up or down. That's what's limiting your movement. And you a machine can jump from spot to spot. Yes, it can because it can manipulate the spiral. It can start the coil off at 3.14 and make it hit again at 3.18. Now it's on another grid. That's how they're manipulating their machine, by manipulating pi. But they gave it to us, but we don't know how to use it. Now, if you could manipulate pi better, you wouldn't even want them long missiles and rockets that you have. You wouldn't want them. You want something flat and sleek that can be doing that circle with perfection and manipulating the circle. You could see where the big bulky ships that we use would not manipulate a circle well. Y'all trying to do the math of a square when it's actually the math of a circle that'll take you throughout the galaxy at the speed of light and beyond. And the reason why you're not seeing that you can move or glyph from place to place fast as the speed of light, the reason why you're not seeing it is all because you're trying to do it in a triangular manner and it's a circular manner. And that's certain, but putting that triangle and that square in it, all that do is put what I call drift on you. Slows you down in time and space. But if it was circular, you would have no drift, little to none, to slow you down in time and space. So your calculations are based on the square when you can get better results with the rounded one. Okay, so that's the best way I can describe that to you. I didn't go to Yale. Then you have things that people, did y'all know that like about a year or two ago, they were in Africa and just up pops some crystals just started coming up out the ground. New forms of energy are being created and given to mankind. We can use crystal technology to do anything. We don't need to have all the wires that we have. Crystal technology take all the wires away, and man will be less messy in space if they learn crystal technology, because crystal technology in time will respond to your brain. And that's where I'm taking you with this. I'm not going to take you loony toony. I'm trying, everything I say leads to a point. But once you get to the point where you know that you are an electric ball of light packed inside of an avatar body, once you figure that out, then you realize that this avatar, okay, if I didn't have this, I can control stuff without wiring. I can control stuff with these crystals in my brain. I can control objects with the crystals in my brain rather than using wires. We're on a really, really slow course of hooking the wires to your head or some device. It will come a time when you'll be able to use your mind to control the device without ever touching it. You see that? Now we won't need wires. We're advancing that way. And my part of the thing I'm doing here is trying to teach you about the strength of your own mind and not be a victim. What they're going to do is try to make you buy devices to tie on your head to do the current, when you really could do this current without these devices tied on your head. but they're gonna make money off you by telling you to tie something to your head. When your brain can manipulate this stuff without this device, that's just a money making step on to leading on up to it. But I'm trying to get you caught up. I ain't got time to try to make money off you. I'm trying to get you caught up with reality. Reality is, if you have the third eye and if you're able to experience higher consciousness, then you could control machines with your third eye. That's what they want. Okay, now mankind, the people, that power that be, is playing with that knowledge of knowing that and making you spend money to realize this about yourself. So that's what I wanted to say. You don't need a device. We could engineer right now today a device that will respond to our thoughts. They won't do it because they're gonna give it to you bit by bit so they can be in control and you can stay poor. But I'm sent here to catch you up. So that's the first thing I'm gonna tell you. And then I'm telling you why you are not able to manipulate space like you want to, and why your machines take slow time, and why they got so much friction. The reason they got slow time and so much friction is because you haven't started playing with the use of pi, moving it up and down from 3.15 to 3.18 to 3.16. You haven't figured out how it breaks through time doing it, and then once you realize that a circle ain't never gonna fucking end, there is no end to a circle. What it is one is gonna either go above the plane each time and keep on going, or it's gonna go below the plane each time and keep on doing, but it does not go in a complete circle all the time. That's why. So remember that. You can put numbers on the end of that pie that will change the outcome of that circle. So if you was doing a calculation, you'd be able to expand your calculating abilities if you would play with the pie. It helps in physics and mechanics too. It helps in physical mechanics because then you would recognize hydronium. If you could recognize hydronium, see, I got more I wanted to tell you about, but I can't, like I said, I can't give you 35 years of knowledge in one night. So I hope that I'm giving you enough that you research what I said, because I'm sure that if you listen to me enough, you will have a gateway to the stars. Because I'm giving it straight to you, your mechanics. They're based off a square when they should be based off a circle. That's what's messing your machines up, making them so janky, so shaky, and less aerodynamic. Okay, so now, so play with pi. That's how you manipulate a black hole, with pi. Then you have the use of a wand. The wand, like I said, is my best friend. I like it, and we sell them at the store here. So you have that, and so that's pretty much all I have to say about the wand and about quantum mechanics. As if I'm some big boy. I'm giving you what they're telling me we doing wrong. They're telling me right up front the reason why we going so slow with it is because we ain't manipulating pi like we should be. They're telling me like right up front the reason why we don't have machines that we can work with our mind. We don't even need no machines that they got machines that could respond to the crystal waves on our brain and do this stuff, but they're still giving us finger touch stuff and all that. The reality is your brain is a conductor and it can manipulate electronic devices as long as they're tuned into the electromagnetic waves of the brain. But they got them with so many wires and the wires so heavy until you can't send your waves through the wire without the use of paying money. But if the wires were ultra thin fiber, then you would be able to send the electronic impulses straight from your brain into a device. But it is deliberately designed so you can't do that, so you can spend money on the latest device. Do you see where you're being duped? And then why we ain't already done blast off and went somewhere else? I mean, this is what's going on. And you can check my work. I love it. That means somebody will go and find the truth. and they'll see this. And my work is done. I got billions of people to get this stuff out too. I don't mind you going to fact check me, then you're gonna know it's real. So, cause I'm not here to prove it to myself. I've already done my work, and if you want to prove it to yourself, then go get to work and do it. Other than that, just work with me. So yeah, we already can control electronic devices with our brain. They make you think you gotta touch it and all that stuff so they can sell you the latest device and make their money and then slowly introduce you to the fact that you could just look at something and it do what you want it to do. We are that far advanced or further, but they're not gonna let you know that you could think a thought and make something move because then um, you won't need their telephone devices or anything. So they're just like selling freedom of mind to you bit by bit and never giving you the whole deal. But I'm sure in these little 10 episodes that I gave you, you probably had a more freer mind than you ever had by any phone device. No matter how many videos they show you, ain't nothing like being able to walk out of your body and go into and walk by the riverside and play in the water. And you can do that in the third eye. You can do that. No phone can do that. Yeah. So, and I hope that you are having love. I hope that you are feeling love. I am love. Say that a couple of times. I am love, and know that love is out there. Everybody's got problems. Everybody has a nemesis. Everybody has somebody against them. Um, that is not a reason to give up on life. That is a reason to fight for life. Um, when you have problems that are down that make you feel really bad, or hatred, or somebody's racially beating you up on the video game, or if the video game is turning out to be a bummer and somebody says something to you that make you want to hurt somebody, um, you have to step back. You have to use your third eye, and you have to step back and look at that shit and say, really? Is it really? Am I getting this upset over a video game? And then you got to choose to avoid that video game. If the video game make you feel like hatred, then stop playing the damn video game, man. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't let your reality be ruled by some box up under the TV. Let your reality be ruled by your mind and your third eye. I think a lot of these young guys they lose on a video game, and I've heard the racial remarks they make and I saw the things they do, and it may entice you to want to hurt somebody. Don't hurt nobody. Uh, it's just a video game, and in about an hour it'll be over with that. The pain will be gone. So it's not really worth a lifetime of being in jail or being locked up, never being able, to have a life or play a game, not a video game. And then if somebody telling you to hurt somebody, I want you to tell them to do it first. They tell you to go hurt somebody, tell them do it you first, motherfucker. You first. Don't be no fool. That's real. Somebody whispering in your ear telling you to go kill somebody, telling you first. Telling you first. Because really, the reason they're whispering in your ear, because you're the fucking puppet. And they don't like it when Pinocchio look up and tell them you first. Yeah, see, that's what made Pinocchio so bad. Nothing he really did was bad. He just, he wasn't supposed to have no mind of his own. He was a puppet. So, if you enjoy being a puppet, then you are not in tune with your third eye. Because your third eye will be like, I'm no puppet. So that's my words to you. And see, me, I got a vampire trying to suck the life force from me and going from website to website, mirroring my content, taking my ideas and expanding on them, ghosting me, sending me ill feelings and stuff like that. And the person is bigger up than me. So it's just to me like, should I make him be fucked up? Well, I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not into that. I'm into like, you got people who this is their living, so I can understand why they would be so hostile about it if you got to get your pennies from this shit. But I ain't at that point yet, so I guess that's why I'm not in that hostile mood of trying to be competitive over a podcast. It seems kind of petty and obsolete. But maybe I've been in the third eye too long. I think that's it. You'd be surprised how much evil can be lurking in one good place. You could have people who may have knowledge beyond the world, but choose to use it for evil. Then you have people who have knowledge and choose to use it for light. And it's not up to me to make the choice of who does what. All I do is relay the messages that are given to me and possibly try to bring you one or two good subjects to talk about that have to do with esoteric knowledge, because that's what man is lacking, esoteric knowledge. So before I go, I have an excerpt from the book of Urantia that I wrote. And it's just an excerpt. I know it's very short, but I wanted to give you something to think about. And if you don't have that book and you don't have the money, I want you to go download the PDF. Uh, knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge and wisdom shouldn't come at such a high price. Yeah, knowledge and wisdom don't cost a lot. What the fuck? Well, I can't get my machine right. So the book of Urantia is a book that talks about it's about the Bible, but it tells the story of more galactic stuff going on besides just what we've been taught. It tells about some interstellar stuff and higher consciousness that we've not been taught before. Knowledge of the uh, it is it's all right. So when I was, it's got a lot of stuff. It's got like a story of the Bible in it, all about Jesus' life and stuff like that, and um, it's pretty nice. Um, it's something So you would like it. I'm Pentecostal, so um we had I'm sorry, I'm having a hardest time getting out of this thing. Well, I can't get my computer to act right. What I was trying to do, I'm gonna keep fooling with it, and I wanted to talk to you about that. Now, this book, when I just got my copy, my hardback copy in the mail, it's big too. Hold on, let me show it to you. And I had just got it back, and it's big because I have been working with the PDF. So when I got my copy, when I got the Urantia book, um, the hardback, I went in and I was writing a little bit of it, but immediately I noticed that I'm being shadowed. I noticed, I'm like, damn. As soon as I started talking about the Urantia, he come running behind me with the same thing. So, it's up to you who you get to read with you. But this is the book of Urantia. Okay, so what I've been doing is teaching y'all from the book of Urantia. I read the thing and memorized it a long time ago, but I see that I'm gonna be uh having to walk y'all through this one. It's big like a Bible or something. It's got over 1,000 pages in it. So uh it's a big book. It's gonna take some time. But hey, I'm gonna do this one called the Urantia book. I'm gonna read an excerpt of the book that I'm writing. It's called the Urantia book. It's just taking it and breaking it down for you. Okay. In the mind of mortal men, there is a confusion to the words God, deity, and divinity. A God is defined as a combination of a deity and a divinity and a divine source. Okay, now a deity is defined as the personification of the cosmic and universal activities and energies. Okay, and divinity is defined as a characteristic, unified, physical, incomprehensible spirit. So its aspects such as truth, beauty, goodness, justice, power, serenity, love, mercy, and ministry are aspects uh, of a unified physical and spirit. So to be divine, you have to unify your physical with your spirit and then display visible aspects of certain things such as truth, beauty, goodness, justice, power, serenity, love, mercy, and ministry. Okay, so that's a divine divinity. Being divine is displaying characteristics in a physical way. You may look divine. Okay, and so then a deity is defined as the personification of the cosmic energies. So they don't have to be a god, they could just be cosmic energy combined all together and be like a spirit. Okay, and then a god is a combination of the combined spirit with the divinity and the cosmic source, and they don't have anything about a physical body on that. Okay, so do you see how you can get confused about what even being religious is? You could be worshiping a deity instead of a god. You could be acting other than divine. It's different things that and aspects that it'll have in your life if you know the meaning of those words. So I went over a god, a deity, and a divinity. You should know the real meaning of each one of them. Okay, so I'm gonna go over them one more time so that you will know it because it means something in this day's world as we talk about gods, deities, demons. Deities and demons are the same thing, but then you have a deity which will be a good wholesome spirit, and then you have a demon who will be able to manifest that is not good. Okay, so then you have both you deity and those spiritual forms like that. They come good and bad. So the deity is usually good and has divine characteristics. See, because divinity is a description, but the description itself ain't describing one thing. The description is a description of a whole group of things. So if you have somebody saying he was divine, that means he showed the characteristics of divinity. And then if you have someone saying, well, that person act like a deity or is a deity or this god was a deity, then you must know they didn't have a physical body. When you're talking about deities and demons, neither one of them have a physical body. So they could not have been deities if they had physical bodies. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So if it's something that man can stand there and worship, it's not a deity. It's not a deity at all. See how you can be confused? If man can see it and worship it, then it's not a deity or a demon because it's probably a human or something because uh, those two things that can't be seen can be divided into the two things. Like if it's a spirit, is it going to be a deity spirit or is it going to be a demon spirit? Okay, so then that's what you mean. Deity is the good form of a spirit and demon is the bad form of a spirit. So deity is the opposite of a demon. But neither one of them have a physical body. And then divinity is a characteristic. It's a characteristic that a person can display. Okay, right? And then a God combines a divine character with power and source. So it will be higher than a deity or a divinity or anything. Okay, so see, understand when you might read in the Bible or you might read in a book or something like that, you can look at the actions that the people were doing. Like if they couldn't see it, it probably was a deity or a demon because they couldn't see it. And then if they could see it, then it would probably be more like what you would consider as a god or something, you know. So you have to be careful how you read stuff when you read it. When you don't want to be fooling yourself and thinking one thing is another. So what I wanted to say is think about that when you say, well, I know some, you know, So what I'm telling you is there's a difference in those. So you have some people who say, "Oh, he's so divine," but he's not a deity, but he's worshipped. All right. So, do you see where that could be a problem? Can you see where that would be a problem? Okay. So, know the difference between those when you're looking at your Bible reference. For example, like when they said that an angel spoke to him and he was in the likeness of a man, and that he was talking to him, but it was not a physical man, then that was a deity, and that would be what you would call an angel, right? Deities are more like angelic because they're good. And then you have one saying that he's gonna hurt Job. That was a demon. He couldn't be seen, and he didn't have a physical body, but yet still he was there amongst mankind. That's a deity or a demon. You only get one. You're only gonna be one or the other. You're only gonna be one or the other. A person. Remember that as I teach you to go into the third eye. When you manifest yourself, you're gonna manifest yourself one or the other. If you're walking out of your body, obviously, if you're walking around trying to do something bad to somebody, you're being a demon. And if you're walking around trying to uphold humanity, then you are being a deity. And it's a personal choice between each person. I'm trying to get to the good and bad of it all. Either we gonna be uh, walking together as deities, or fighting each other as demons. So that's what the book of Gnostics said about it. Okay, so that was deities, divinity, and being like God. So it's really hard to uh, determine what you may face in life. You don't know which one, what side a person can be on. You don't know. You don't know that this person may be pretending to be um, needing a God, but really don't need God. I'll tell you every time, my disclaimer, I ain't never told you not to believe in God. I believe in God. I've never told you not to believe in God. But I just want you to realize that you have more in store than a big Armageddon. You have more in store than just death with no ending. And we could have lived longer if we had not started eating meat. So that means something. So that's what I want to say. It means a lot if you care about whether or not humanity moves forward. You would be caring about things like let's say you be caring more about things like more efficient way of food, more efficient way of waste disposal. Because even if we were to get to space, we'd be throwing out waste because we don't have efficiency to keep waste down. And so you have that, and then Sometimes, now this is what I want you to do. Look online and see how many, if you have the PDF of the list of the demons, deities, I want you to look through it one day and see how many names and businesses are listed in that book. That was the significance of it. If you downloaded it like I asked you to do, you would have come across the fact that I seen that name before, and you'd say, "Oh my God." And so, okay, so now I've talked to you about that. So with that list of the that I told you to download, the PDF, the list of dictionary of demons and deities, the demon and deities in there, some of those names you will recognize, and you'll be wondering what the hell is really going on. So that was the purpose of it. Go look at it, look at some of the names, and look at some of the names of businesses, and just compare it, and then see how you can make your own connection once you're looking with the third eye and you know what to look for. Okay, so go through the list of deities and demons, just flipping through, thumbing through, looking at them names, and I'm sure you're gonna see some you recognize, and affiliate those names with different products and stuff. It's deep, much deeper than I could ever go. So let's talk about divine source. Okay, light, heat, electricity, magnetism, chemism, energy, and matter are in origin nature and destiny one, and the same thing together with it. Okay, so that was the note that I wrote. Light, heat, electricity, magnetism, chemism, energy, and matter are all originating from the same place and have the same destination. It's all one big flow, a continuum. Okay, so on the other hand, destiny. This shouldn't even be talking about destiny. Well, this got those. That was how about your destiny is determined by your energies. Well, destiny uh is one and the same. Is one and the same thing. Okay, so let me say it right. All of those different forms of energies that are here on this earth, right? They're all from one infinite source, right? But destiny is not affected by that source. Meaning, the outcome of those energies in your life are not determined by the source. Destiny is you, what you do with your personality. See what I'm saying? All right. Every bit of energy you get with your third eye, every manifestation you do, everything you do, everything you do, all coming from one continuous life force. I call it the all, right? All of it's coming from the all. Where destiny got his own little path. It ain't from the all. It can be manipulated. Destiny can be manipulated and determined by you. So that is something I want you to really think about hard. Destiny is not determined by, like everything else that flows in this world, it all flows on the same energy grid, but destiny don't flow on that same energy grid. Destiny is the bending of that energy grid. Destiny is the kinks and the chinks. So All the energy in the world is out there. Everything in the universe is out there. But I'll tell you what, destiny is out there. But it's not, it's what you make it. Okay? You can make a good destiny, you can make a bad destiny. Destiny is not, you're not gonna be able to say, oh, it's written in the wheel of time that I'm gonna have bad luck. Nope. Destiny is determined by you. So you have to we have to take accountability for our actions, or we can let destiny affect us and be blowing in the wind. So if you have destiny in mind, you'll remember that all this energy in the universe going in the same direction, flowing in the same place, all being absorbed and sucked and re-spent out and spent around and all of that. But destiny is not a part of that. Destiny is not a part of the wheel. Destiny is what you doing with your energy. See, that's what I mean. So we go into personality now, because personality of the person determine the destiny. Okay, so personality is a level of deity in reality. Okay, that means whatever cosmic energy you have is in your realistic body, which can be expanded upon. So you can expand upon your personality. You can diversify your personality. You can have different aspects that you want to show, right? And you can change your personality to that of a deity and be coordinated and more stabilized. So, what is the personality of a deity? I just read off all those different moral traits of a deity. Okay, so what they're saying again, this is straight out the book of the Urantia. Okay, but I just took the key excerpts that I wanted to talk about, but I'm going in order in the book. I am up to, in reading it for y'all and rewriting it, I'm up to page 10. This was going up to page 10. That's what I was talking to you about right here. Okay, so when it comes to physical energy, manifestations, cosmic force embraces all energies deriving from the cosmos and the universe. Okay, so let me start off with this right here. You have a personality. Your personality will determine your destiny, because your destiny is not pre-written. It is affected by the things that go on in your real life, and it affects you, and then it builds your inner deity, and then that inner deity that you have on the inside after being on this world determines your destiny. So it's like a 2 or 3 part step. Okay, you have the individual. He's got the energy matter flowing through him, right? And then he makes a choice that determines his destiny. Okay, and so the personality of that person will determine his destiny in the end, because the personality will determine the ultimate choice. So now, so body, mind, spirit, soul, personality, and warp spirituality is what I've been teaching you, is warp spirituality. Okay, a soul or spirit is destined to survive your mortal death and begin the ascension all over again. Again, I said you're going to survive your mortal death and then you just start over again. And the reason I'm saying that is because your body is just a big energy trap. And scientists have found out that energy don't die. It just be regenerated and reverberated throughout time. So it will be regenerated throughout time. So like when you burn something, the energy is released from it and the carbon goes back up into the air. But still, it's going to stay here on Earth. It's not going nowhere. And it's going to be reborn again in some plant or something. Okay, so the cycle is not saying that when your body die and all the energy in your body is gone, it's not saying that then that's just the end. It's saying that the energy within you never ever dies and continues to flow on even without your human body. That's what they're basically saying. And so saying that is it must be some powerful energy And would not it be nice if you could harness it while you was alive? Because that's what I'm asking you to do when you mess with your third eye. I'm asking you to take charge of that energy before it leave your body in death. So energy is all inclusive. Anything that creates power. And when you apply energy in the spiritual world and the mind world and the material world, there's different types of energy involved. Those energies will be physical energy, which is dominated the movement, action, and the potential for movement, the kinetic energy and potential energy. Okay, kinetic energy is the energy of the moving object, and potential energy is the stored energy. All of that stuff is physical energy, and you can calculate that with an ink pen, right? And physical energy takes effect in the physical world. Okay, but when it comes to physical energy manifestations, cosmic forces are used, or you drawn on the energy of the cosmic force, and it embraces all energies deriving from the universe. Okay, so if you're thinking that people can manifest spirituality and do spiritual things with a electronic device, it won't happen. To do a spiritual thing, so far as we know, it has to come through the atmosphere of the universe. The third eye connection will be the energy created through the universe. We won't be using no wires. So it's all coming through from the energy of the universe instead of a plug. See, the physical energy that you get in your house come from a plug or from the electric power place or from a dam or something like that, right? This is not the energy that spirituality is talking about. Spirituality is talking about the energy that is drawn from the cosmic force of the universe. Okay. Emergent energy. Emergent energy is a type of energy that embraces those energies which are responsive to universal gravity. Okay, but are unresponsive to local and linear gravity. Okay, so emergent energy will capture those energies which are responsive to the university, but not responsive to the gravity local here on Earth. Stray spirits get sucked up into the emergent energy force pretty much. Don't be a stray spirit. Know where you're going, know what you're doing. Okay, so if you and so you can measure physical energy, but you can't measure universal energy or emergent energy and universal power. Let's talk about that. Universal power is universal energy, which responds to the creator and is directly responsible for the gravity we have on Earth. That means the reason we have such gravity on Earth is because the universal energy is pushing against our atmosphere, creating a gravity. Okay, so now the mind is the place where localization of energy systems, spirit and matter combine. You have your brain, and then you have the localized energy circuits of your body, and then you have the energies of the universe all combined and hubbubbing in one spot. All is there except for physical energy that you got from a plug. Okay, so now inside um, so what is power? What do you mean power, right? Power can be measured, and it can be directly measured. Um, and it's defined as the measurable, tangible on an electric level. But the mind is a place where the localization of energy systems of spirit and matter combine. And the mind has three different sources of light. The mind has material light, like you get from your light bulb. It has intellectual light, which you get from learning. And it has spirit luminosity, which you get from walking in your third eye. and carrying divine ways. Now, the light defines the personality manifest characteristic of sentient beings and is not connected with intellectual insight or physical light manifestations. Okay, so the light is defined as the personality within that person that is going to manifest out and is going to be characteristic of all sentient beings. All have love in common. They all want to love. They feel like they can see it all and all that. They have that because they have stepped out of the physical body and gone into the spirit luminosity and walked around. Okay, so now the light defined in the personality is just a manifestation of them doing leaving out of the physical body. Now, patterns are configurations of energy. Okay, now, but they do not control energy. All the energy on this earth is responsive to gravity. Gravity is the king of all energies. I don't care if it's solar energy, I don't care what it is. Gravity, the king of it all. Gravity will take electricity and do something to it. Gravity is the king of all the physical things. And once you learn that and you learn how to defy gravity itself, then you really will be able to orbit this planet spiritually. Now, gravity is in soul control, and it has a certain configuration about it that has a design to it to defy the limitations. Okay, so what I'm saying is gravity, if you could look at gravity with your eyes, gravity would look like a flower. And you can control gravity on how you flip the flower. And that's just it. Gravity has a pattern to it, a pattern of energy that causes everything to be sucked down to the earth. If you want to defy gravity, you learn that pattern and learn how to flip it backwards. When you learn how to flip it backwards, you will have an anti-gravity. Okay, and you can reverse gravity very easy knowing the mathematical equation of pi. I know you know pi and I know 3.14, but what else can you do with it? See, that's what we need you to know. Okay, now the universal father, who we all looking for, the God, the Godhead, the God figure, the Savior, and all that stuff. He is the one who is the master pattern for each one of our little bitty energy designs. So imagine a big old spark of fire, and then one of the little ember come flying out, and it's the same color and got the same pattern, and it's going to start a new fire. That's how you is to him. That's how they're describing you is to him. He is an energy pattern, and then he a spark of him flew off, and then now you here. You know, it's like the energy is continuous. So you asking how he looked? He looked like a spark, a beam of light, and then he got a whole bunch of little patterns of light flowing through us. We don't see it, but he gave. That's what he gave us, those different little patterns of light, and that's what made us different from an ape. So yes, there those the pattern is an important thing. So he's in a pattern of figure eight, and everything that came from him was in a figure eight as well. You see what I mean? He's in a figure eight and a star. Then everything that popped off of him, every ember, every flame is in that same exact little figure eight and star. That's what they're saying. So you are a continuous part of that energy. Now, if you need to worship them just because you're a part of them, that's on you. But I'm just telling you what's going on. That's how it happened. The creator gave a little spark of his life into Adam and Eve. And then that flame, that spark, that flame is what made us different, and it is what controls our third eye. So when it comes to pattern, he is the master pattern to our energy. So we are just little offshoots of him. So I hope that was pretty good for you, and I'll see you again tomorrow.